Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the secrets of Bhagavad Gita. So today we are discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, text number 36. I will read out the slok first, then its translation, and then we will discuss the purport line by line. Okay. पापमेवा श्रये तस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Sin will be overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Purport: According to Vedic injunctions, there are six kinds of aggressors. In the this particular verse, there is a word for aggressor is atatayinah. So atatai is called as aggressors, or in one sense, those people who are uh, who attack others by uh, unlawful means. That's a simple way we can understand the word aggressors or atatai. So there are six kinds of people. First one, a poison giver. Second, one who sets fire to the house. Third, who one who attacks with deadly weapons. 4. One who plunders riches. 5. One who occupies another's land. And 6. One who kidnaps a wife. There is a Sanskrit verse for this. Agnido garadashchaiva shastrapanir dhanapaha kshetradharapahari cha shadete atatayinah. So these atatayinah basically are sinful people because uh, they attack others' property or others' lives by unlawful means. Continuing, such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man, but Arjuna was not an ordinary person. Now, according to some instructions of Shastra, killing atatais or killing aggressors is not a sin because these people are sinful people anyway. So there is no sin in killing them. And one should not be in dilemma whether to kill them or not. However, here we see that Arjuna, being a saintly person, he feels this dilemma. And why? That we will see now. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. So that's a symptom of a saintly person or sadhu, that he does not want to hurt anyone unnecessarily, even by words or even by uh, mind. So that's a sign of a saintly person. So when we talk about purity, we have to consider the purity in words, the purity in mind, and then purity in deeds. So voice is not okay. What should I do? Maybe I should change the net connection. Okay, let us see now. Now, please check whether connection is okay or is not okay. I changed the internet connection, or okay, now it's okay. Oh my god, I lost the connection. So wait a minute. I'll simply open the door and then see how it goes. I hope the internet should not trouble us now. Okay. So we were discussing the characteristic of a saintly person. A saintly person is pure in his deeds, in his words, and also in his mind. So that's really purity. So Arjuna being very pure in heart, in his mind, and in his deeds, he did not want to kill his own relatives, even though they are aggressors by definition, just for the sake of some material gain. Now one may wonder, if Arjuna knew this, then why why did he decide to fight with them? Audio issue. Still it is not coming? I mean, that's the only option we have. Let's see. We have only two internet connection. Same issue. Oh Krishna. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let us see now. Okay. Let's continue. So Arjuna was pure in his mind, in his words, and in his deeds. So he wasn't really interested in killing his relatives just for the material gain. So that's a sign of a saintly person. So we were discussing that why did Arjuna decide to fight with his relatives if he knew that he could not fight with them? I mean, not in terms of his capacity, but in terms of his willingness to fight. So he was the one who declared that he would kill Duryodhana and all his party. So the simple reason is that this is a divine arrangement of Lord Shri Krishna. After coming to battlefield, Arjuna got bewildered by Lord Shri Krishna's internal potency, Yoga Maya. So that's the only reason we can understand why Arjuna is behaving like this. Though he was saintly even before coming to Mahabharat war. So one should not doubt that when Arjuna decided to fight with Kauravas, uh, uh, or Bhishma Pitama and all his superiors, he was saintly because it was uh, a fight for dharma sake. They needed a kingdom, and Duryodhana and others, they opposed Pandavas. They did not give their um legitimate share of kingdom. So it was a dharma yuddha. It was a religious war. So Arjuna, he did not want that war. But now, by the uh, particular intervention of Lord Shri Krishna, Arjuna is feeling uh, compassion for his relatives, and the reason for that is one is saintly nature, another is his material attachment to his relatives. Continuing, this kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of the state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. So, saintliness is required, there is no doubt. Everywhere we need saintly people. However, when it comes to uh, administering a kingdom, sometimes we have to give up that saintly aspect. Otherwise, it's not possible to punish the miscreants. So, uh, sometimes we have to give up this nature. That does not mean we should not have saintliness um, in the royal order. Continuing, for example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama, Ramarajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. So Ravana also got certified as one of the aggressors because to kidnap someone's wife, that is also aggression. So Ravana uh, was an aggressor, though he was a Brahmana by birth. But Lord Rama punished him severely. That we still remember or like to remember the Ramayana war. So a administrator should be like Lord Rama. So he should be saintly, but at the same time, when he sees that there is some miscreant who is disturbing the society by uh, promoting adharma, then he should be thoroughly punished. Next, in Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjun thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. So now Arjun again got dilemma. He knew that these aggressors should be punished, and now he reconsidering over his own decision that how can I fight with my own relatives? So sometimes it happens to us also that we decide something and then after some time we reconsider on what we have already decided. So that's the situation of Arjuna. He decided to fight with his own relatives, but now he is reconsidering his decision, and that's because of Lord Shri Krishna's arrangement. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such instructions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Now, here there is a consideration of uh, statements from the scriptures in hierarchy. Why it is so important? Because we may find so many instructions in the Shastra pertaining to any particular situations. However, there is a hierarchy between the strength of these different statements. So any aggressor should be killed. That's that's in injections from the Arthashastra. However, according to Dharma Shastra, a person uh, should be saintly in nature. and should try to forgive even aggressors. Ma hinsya sarvabhutani. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uh, quotes from certain scriptures that how Arjuna calculated his own situation. He says, ननु अग्निदो गरदश्चैव शस्त्रपाणिर्धनापहः क्षेत्रदारापहारी च षडेते आततायिनः इति आततायिनम् आयान्तम् अन्यात् एव अविचारयन् न आततायि वधे दोषो हन्तुर्भवति भारत. So there is the injections in Arthashastra particularly that even if you see a Brahmana in the form of Atatai, then he should be punished. You should not think twice. He should be just punished. And one may wonder that, but will I not uh, commit sin by killing a Brahmana or killing any Atatai in this way? So the answer is no. Na Atatai tayin na Atatai vadhe dosho hantur. So a killer does not get any sin by killing any Atatai, no matter whether he is a Brahmana. Next, इत्यादि वचनात् एषां वद उचित एव इति तत्र आह पापमिति. So, according to this particular injunction, killing of aggressors is justified, and that includes Duryodhana and all his relatives. Now, then, why does Arjuna argue here? Why does he want to reconsider his own decision? The answer is एतान् हत्वा स्थितान् अस्मान् आततायिनम् आयन्तम् इत्यादिकम् अर्थशास्त्रम् धर्मशास्त्रात् दुर्बलम्. So this particular injection of Shastra, which is from Arthashastra, it is weaker in strength than the statements of Dharma Shastra. What is that? यदुक्तं याज्ञवल्क्येन अर्थशास्त्रात् तु बलवत् धर्मशास्त्रम् इति श्रुतम् इति तस्मात् आचार्यादीनां वधे पापं स्यात् एव न च ऐहिकं सुखमपि स्यात् इति आह स्वजनमिति. So according to the Dharma Shastra, particularly here, uh, Yajnavalkya Smriti has been quoted that Arthashastra to Balvat Dharma Shastra. So, whenever there is a conflict between statements of Arthashastra and Dharma Shastra, the statements from Dharma Shastra win. So, Arjuna calculates in these terms. Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan also explains Ma Hinsyad Sarvabhutani. This is the statement from Dharma Shastra. So, one should not kill anyone. That's a injection for everyone. And Arjuna, being a centric person, uh, he is reconsidering those statements from Dharma Shastra that I should not be killing anyone. So why am I killing? And okay, I may have to kill someone, my enemies, or some sinful people because I am a Kshatriya. But here I am supposed to kill them just to get some kingdom, which is a very small gain. So I should not be killing my relatives, my teachers, my superiors, just for gaining some kingdom. So that is not fair. So Arjuna does not deny that he cannot be a non-violent person as a Kshatriya, except that I had to be violent and punish the aggressors. But there is another consideration as well, because these people are not just Atatais, but they are my respectable superiors, my teachers. So just for little material gain, I cannot take this huge sin of uh, killing my own gurus. So he justifies his decisions by saying this particular verse, Papam eva ashrayet. So certainly there will be sin. Though these are adatainas, they qualify as adatainas, but if we consider the statements of Dharma Shastra, just for little gain, if I involve myself in killing my own teachers, that would not be uh, that would not be fair, and rather uh, I would get caught in sin. So that was Arjuna's argument here. Next, because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. So let there be any political emergency, but Arjuna thought, uh, as a saintly person, I should consider my own situation. I am a very junior compared to my teachers, and in fact, I should be sacrificing everything, including my life, for their sake. So even though they want some kingdom from us, they want to kill us. So let us be killed. But why to kill them? Just for little material gain. So only a saintly person can think like that. In ordinary dealings, generally we do not see such saintly people in abundance that they would calculate in these terms. So that's why there is a need of these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, so that we can have more and more saintly people in our society who can really think beyond me and mine. Generally, ordinary people, they always think in terms of what is for me, what is my gain. So, but a saintly person is above all this, above this tendency, because they are knowledgeable persons and they know what is actually worth seeking for. So, this material gain is anyway it's temporary. So, even if we lose it by any way, it's not really a loss for us. Whereas if you lose dharma, that will be a great loss for us. So that's a thinking of a saintly person. Next, Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent, so why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? So here we see the proper context of dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. A saintly person, he also has to work for dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. But when he sees a conflict between dharma, artha, kama, moksha, he gives a top priority to moksha. Second priority is dharma. Third priority is artha. Fourth one is kama. So this is the uh, hierarchy saintly person considers whenever he sees such conflicts. So Arjuna uh, finds himself in such a conflict. He thinks that as a kshatriya, his dharma is to punish the aggressors. So he knows his dharma. However, he considers about his the fourth purushartha, that is moksha, salvation. So he's thinking that if I follow my dharma as a kshatriya, I will be not giving justice to my fourth purushartha, that is moksha. So why should I risk moksha? So better I just forgive them, forgive my aggressors, and just take care of my moksha. Because no matter however I may get material happiness in this life, or any life, it's all temporary, and it's not going to make me happy by any way. That's the reality. Though we may get bewildered by such material pleasures for the time being, because we don't experience higher pleasures, I mean the spiritual pleasure. So only due to lack of spiritual pleasure, we uh, get attracted to we get attracted to material pleasure. So this is a conditioned life. However, once we realize that there is a pleasure beyond material pleasure, so uh, one should seek that spiritual pleasure, and that pleasure comes by following the limbs of bhakti, devotional service, by chanting the holy names of Lord Shri Krishna, by serving Vaishnavas, and by following various other limbs of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, ityadi. So, whenever we find ourselves in such dilemma that we are also experiencing material attachment, though we know that these are temporary and they cannot really make us happy. So, one should understand that it is only due to not experiencing the higher pleasure or higher spiritual pleasure in our life. So somewhere we are missing our spiritual activities. So the only solution is way to uh, properly situate ourselves in these spiritual activities, so that we can also start experiencing the higher bliss. And then such material pleasures will not attract us, because these are really very insignificant pleasures. Even dogs and pigs are having such pleasures, so it's not such a big thing. And spiritual life means unlimited bliss, unlimited pleasure. So that's something we should be aspiring for, and we are actually hankering for such spiritual pleasure. Next, Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of the goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. So, Madhava means the husband of Lakshmi Devi, or goddess of fortune. So, Arjuna indirectly wants to hint Lord Shri Krishna that don't bring misfortune upon me. You are a Madhava. However, Arjuna, because of his bewilder due to material attachment, is not able to see that Lord Shri Krishna is his real well-wisher. So why would he uh, encourage him to do anything that would bring him misfortune? So this doubt should not appear in Arjuna's mind. But here we clearly see that that's the divine arrangement of Lord Shri Krishna, which makes everything possible. Even pure devotee like Arjuna also gets bewildered. So, Muhyanti Yasurayaha, that we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse. So, even the great demigods get bewildered by Lord Shri Krishna's potency. So, there is no surprise. Arjuna is not an exception here. Next, he wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotee. So that's a very uh, that's a point for meditation. And Lord Shri Krishna, by nature, he is Sachidananda. He does not bring misfortune to anyone, let alone his own pure devotees. He loves his devotees. So there is no question of bringing misfortune for Arjuna. But when we are affected by a material attachment, it may appear that Lord Shri Krishna is uh, not giving justice to us. or rather is uh, he is not favoring us with justice. So all such thoughts uh, should not appear in a devotee's mind. So we are supposed to understand tattva from the very beginning of our life, devotional life, so that whenever we come across such real life challenges, we won't get bewildered like any conditioned soul as Arjuna. Arjuna, though, is a pure soul, but he is playing the part of a conditioned soul. So we should, um by seeing the situation of Arjuna, protect ourselves by thoroughly understanding the tattva about Krishna consciousness. And that's why we are having this program. Hare Krishna. So I will uh, stop here. So if there is question, we can take. I'm extremely sorry for the disturbance due to the internet. What can be done? There are some things which are not in our control. We are not the controllers. So if there are no questions, then we can stop here. Vidaka Prabhu?
Ruji, there is one question.
Okay.
Ruji, as far as I understand, like if we are following dharma, whatever activity do according to dharma, that is not called sin because we define sin if we are not following dharma.
Okay.
And there is one incident today. Actually, I met with one Air Force officer in my office.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he was telling me like when he was appointed at Air Force station,
Mm-hmm.
he was told to kill the birds, like big birds, like eagle, hawk. Actually, they are flying around the Air Force station, and sometimes these birds might get hit with like airplanes flying there. So it may cause like serious some accident. So it may cause a loss of human life. So
Okay.
he was telling me for better cause, he was killing those. He was told to kill the big birds like eagle, hawk, and like that.
I
So he
understand.
was telling me he was following his duty. So it is not the sin. So it's like confusing to me. Like sometimes he was telling it is his dharma because he was as a Kshatriya, he was appointed there. So
Actually,
just
whenever
Ruji,
I got
clarify
your
on this one.
point, uh, actually, whenever we are calculating dharma or adharma, we should understand the context of uh, our own situation. So the dharma calculation is applicable when we are following our own dharma. The example which you provide is not an example of a kshatriya uh, per se, because it may appear that he is acting as a kshatriya, or like some shudra also, because shudras also are employed to safeguard properties and etc. But here we see that this is something ugra karma. That's not a natural phenomena. We have created such an unnatural situation, and just to run this situation, we have to kill uh, our birds, innocent birds. So we do get sin by directly killing birds or even riding on planes. There is no escape because uh, that's a reality. We can't just escape the law of karma. Of course, for the preaching sake, sometimes we have to take help of plane and such facilities. But then we should also uh, understand that we do get affected by that karma, and unless we fully utilize these uh, facilities in preaching Krishna consciousness, nothing for ourselves, then only we are saved. Otherwise, uh, if we are enjoying those facilities for our sense gratification, then we will have to uh, get those karma either in this life or in the next life. So there is no easy escape. That's why there is a why does Arjuna think so much about fighting with his relatives? You know why we have his Bhagavad Gita, because Arjuna wants to clarify before Lord Shri Krishna that whether his thinking is proper or not. So only a responsible person would think before acting. Nowadays, nobody even nobody even thinks in terms of dharma. They get appointed somewhere and then this somehow or other try to justify it. For
But
example, if
Arjun,
if
yes,
someone is engaged at uh, alcohol shop, so would you consider as a dharma?
no.
He may justify it that I'm a shopkeeper and my forefathers they were keeping this shop and I'm just running it and I'm giving some donation to the temple. So that could be so many things. So anything which is not in line with dharma, we should refrain from that. That is why we have these teachings. Otherwise, what's the point in just discussing the theory of karma if it is nothing is applicable, or if there is no way we can understand what we should do and what we should not do? There is no point in just discussing theory of karma. So whenever we are discussing our dharma, we should understand that this dharma is according to the shastra. It is shastrokta dharma that has been spoken here. So not any whimsical dharma. There is no such word as whimsical dharma, but just for the sake of understanding, we cannot just coin any other term for to justify our sinful activities. It is sin, no doubt there is sin. It is sin.
But
Now
Prabhuji, like, yeah,
there is a similar incident that someone asked that uh, uh, if I'm a train driver and uh, we have been ordered to not stop the train even if we uh, know in advance that a cow is going to get hit by our train pass. So should should I get sin? So well, in one sense, to save human lives is important. That's true. But if you see the another side, killing a cow, that is also a sin. So you get less sin by hitting a cow, but you definitely get a sin. So when the question is, what should I do in this situation? The answer could be very simple. Yes, you may not stop, but that does not mean that you will not get a sin. You will get sin, but less sin, because you saved human beings. But that does not mean you have done a very good job, a great job or pious job. So we
mhm.
created this such kind of artificial situation. So we have to be careful that I'm getting my livelihood by such means where I have to unknowingly kill so many living beings. Why should I get involved in killing unnecessarily? This is not necessary act, unnecessary, because we created such big uh, transportation lines and this railway tracks. Who is responsible for them? And we are maintaining them. And those innocent beings who come on the way, they get killed. So that's not an excuse. Prakriti will not forgive us. Prakriti hasn't created this. So we may create anything and then we try to justify it. That is not fair. So definitely there will be a hierarchy between less sin and more sin. But it is a sin that we should understand. Okay? Or any
Okay,
other
Prabhuji.
thing?
Prabhuji, I have other question, but I will ask tomorrow because time is already
Okay, okay.
over.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So
It's related to same question, but I will ask tomorrow.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
thank you.
ओके, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता यज्ञ की जय। श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक
जय
यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग।
थैंक यू